Okay, here we go. All right, just in case, that way we have something to post tomorrow. So what's going on with everybody?
Brilliant.
Yeah, because we're always just so cool.
Oh, there's Lauren with the son of Satan. Spawn of Satan. Cats are the spawn of Satan, Lauren.
I don't
That's
think
funny.
so.
I'm a
Yeah,
dog
one
person.
I just-
That looks like Kate. That's Satan's cat. Absolutely.
Aw. I don't have a cat anymore. I got the crazy dog. Oh,
There's the kitty with the
kitty.
whoop. Kitty wants to get down. That's the kitty with the anti-glare paws.
Oh. So what's going on? What's everybody doing this week?
I had to clean out my basement because someone put a new water heater in and didn't do it correctly. So it flooded my
No.
basement.
Oh,
Yup. That's been fun. And I've been trying to get more followers on Twitter. I've been going around and it's amazing how many people write like
I
science
know.
fiction fantasy. You know what I mean? Like that particular genre. I was surprised by how many people write in that genre.
yeah, it's a lot.
And
Yes.
and how do you know that? Because it's in their
In their little
title.
profile.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Sci-fi fantasy, almost every crime, a lot of crime. But like I just
I have a theory about
Yeah.
that. And my theory about that is that there's actually, I mean, when we think about jobs and work and that sort of thing, you think about paying your dues and entry level jobs. In science fiction and fantasy, I don't know about horror, but certainly science fiction and fantasy, there's an entry path. And the entry path is fan fiction. I write, for example, more literary, upmarket
me too.
women's fiction. There isn't a lot of upmarket women's fiction, fan fiction. There
No.
just isn't.
Mm-mm.
Other than porn. You know, well, that's how E.L. James did it, right?
Right, right.
If you're not going to write porn, well, and then from porn, you go into romance. If you're really going to write, you know, if you really think of yourself as the second coming of Ann Patchett, there's no entry. You just sit quietly in your room and churn out short stories until you kind of
Yeah,
start getting a little traction on the world.
yeah.
But there's
Yeah.
a lot of beginner science fiction out there because there is so much fan fiction. And fan
Interesting.
fiction's great. I mean, there should be an apprenticeship.
Right, right.
Hmm.
And where do you read a lot of that? Like I don't read fan fiction. Where is it just free online? Like
I have
Wattpad?
teenagers, they tend to send it to me.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just online.
it's just online.
Yeah, my one son is like a member of this subscription where he gets a chapter a week from some Japanese fan fiction site. And
Wow.
he's like on chapter 1500 of some story he's been reading for 6 years.
Wow.
Get out.
That's amazing. I wonder if that writer gets paid, you know?
I think they do. I don't think it's a royalty system. I think it's a subscription like Medium. They get a cut of the subscription. They
Yeah.
get a cut of they get 3 cents a like.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. And so is it Alyssa?
It is Elissa.
It's
And
Alyssa. Okay. What are you working on right now? Are you working on a novel or short stories?
I am working on a novel.
Good.
Just sold a short story, but I'm working on a second novel. And I heard about this meeting from Lauren because I am
Oh.
a newcomer.
That's not true.
In the Wettison.
That's
the
not true
Wettison-
at all.
I'm a newcomer in the Wettison group, in the Woodbridge Edison group.
Oh.
Oh, is
I
that
didn't
what
hear
they
about it
call
from
them?
you. It was either you or Lori.
They
It
call
was
them
definitely
Wettison?
Lori.
Oh, maybe Lori.
so
Yeah,
cool.
she comes sometimes.
So what is Wettison, the writing group?
Woodbridge Edison. It was.
Right.
That's
Rascally
the writing
Wesley.
group. I haven't been in months, but yeah.
So you guys
yeah.
just write though, right? You don't read each other's work though, right?
No, it's just networking, which is networking and discussion, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I got enough critiquing and I have enough people telling me what's wrong with my writing. I don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I get that.
Uh,
Wow.
uh.
So who do we have? Paul, and then who else? What's your name? There is no what? There is no lethal.
It's Lauren. How are you?
Lauren. I'm good, thanks, Lauren. So what do you write, Lauren?
Look at Lauren's office and tell me what he
Yeah.
writes.
Oh,
Oh,
Well,
like
but that,
gothic?
well, it's a little misleading. I write progressive horror fiction, which is just
Nice.
horror fiction without the tropes that come with horror fiction.
No Black Ravens?
No, no traditional monsters of any sort.
Wow. I don't read horror. I should. I get scared.
Everyone says that and everyone's lying.
I don't. I get scared.
I don't say that.
Gary.
I'm perfectly happy not reading horror. Thank you very much.
Wow, we have a decent amount of people for a change. How do you like
Yeah.
that?
I know. I'm missing my
Magic.
son's wrestling meet for this, but I don't really. It came at the last minute, first of all. Second of all, I think they film it. Third of all, I hate watching kids get slammed around on the mat. It's just so barbaric. I just really don't enjoy it. It belongs in a horror. There's a new trope for you. The wrestling scenes in the horror novel.
Yeah, but see, you should have stopped that. I'm missing my son's wrestling match for this, and then just let us feel bad.
Yeah.
Stop with the rest of. Don't feel anything. Let a tear come down and go. But this is more important.
Right.
This
That's
is much more important.
that's romance novel for you, right? That part.
Yeah.
I tried to write one. It didn't work out for me. The romance book.
Yeah.
I tried to write one. Didn't work.
I wrote one. It was actually decent. Then I tried to write a second one and I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
I've been here, done that. I'm like reciting the same dialogue and the same
Yeah.
characters. I was starting to call my main characters Ken and Barbie. That was kind of an
Yeah, that's not a
indication
good
that-
idea. You're in the
that
wrong place.
Romance and I had pretty much parted ways.
Yeah. Yeah. You're in a bad place when that happens.
Thing one and thing two.
Right.
Well, that's what happens when I'm writing something and I'm like, I'll be like going along. And I'll be like, oh crap, what was the boyfriend's name? And I'm not going to stop to go look and find out. So I just type X. So like XX. So like half the people in my books at any given time are just called XX. And so that means like on the revision, there's a lot of looking up to do. Because
Oh, you don't write it down?
Well-
You don't write your characters down?
well, if yes, I mean, I have them written down somewhere, like sometimes if I do any sort of planning, yes. But like while I'm in the throes of the actual writing, I'll be like, and so a character will come in who I haven't, talked about in 20 chapters. And I don't remember what their name was, but
Oh.
I'm not going to stop the flow to go look it up. So I just
Right.
type XX.
Ken and
So then
Barbie
when
and
I go back,
Snuffles.
Yeah. Thing one and thing two, right?
yeah, it's just this is something I'm rereading now and go, oh my God, I got to go through and try to remember all these people's names. Yeah, so as I'm doing the revisions, I have a list where I'm writing everybody's name down so I can fill in those X's quickly. That's rough.
Names and
So
brief
on-
descriptions.
Yeah.
What?
Names and brief descriptions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Character ticks and
Right.
Yeah.
Do any of you write out? I know I've heard people say that they write out like long sort of backstory for their characters. I have never done that. I don't. I find it
I've done every
cumbersome.
now and then, but not really. No.
What I end up doing, I think this might be somewhat of an equivalent. I have a lot of exposition that I end up just pulling out. And that was my backstory, like that kind of thing. It just ends up going away, that exposition stuff. So
I don't write backstory all ahead of time. I don't write a whole big 40-page character study ahead of time, but I will say I do write slowly. And so when I get to a spot where I have to talk about, and when Mary Ellen had first graduated from XXX high school in Lewisburg, then I will stop and I will do something like, kind of that night or while I'm driving, I'm like, okay, now I'll go look up, okay, well, Lewisburg, it's not just in the middle of Pennsylvania and it's halfway between, Easton and Cornell so I can pass it, but there's a penitentiary there. So maybe she was at a big hospital. Maybe she was a candy striper. Was she the kind of person who'd have been a candy striper? So these little, I kind of accrue it like raindrops.
Yeah. Sometimes I think of it as I throw at stuff with the story and I see what'll stick to it. Like, what other ideas can I bring in? And I throw stuff
Like
at it.
Growettes?
What? No, throw stuff at the story and see what will stick.
Throw at it. I thought you said it's
Oh.
like growettes.
Yeah, it's a new
Oh.
software that writers use. It's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see ideas and possibilities, and sometimes I'll string it out and see if it'll work, and then it doesn't, I take it out, or if it might, and then I build on it. So, yeah.
I find that characters, when I'm writing, they just sort of show up, and it's like meeting someone. Eventually, I kind of get to know who they are, but I don't know all at once.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ever, you're gonna tell everybody what you were doing this past week with the
Oh,
location scouting?
I got to do some
Oh.
location scouting. Yeah, for
Yeah.
33 Cecils, which was
Something
kinda-
that doesn't happen every day. I thought it
Yeah.
would be interesting.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. So they're just sort of trying to narrow it down. They're bringing the real location scouts out towards Binghamton and Niagara Falls in July, but working with the Binghamton Film Office and just getting, some basic. The whole idea is to you got all these great things in Binghamton that are in the novel. You got the Belmar, you got the Majesty Apartment, you got all that, but then you could also shoot the Erie scenes right in Binghamton too. So we're trying to find all that, and then you throw in some B-roll. That's my fancy film term that I know now of the Erie waterfront and the downtown and that sort of thing, and you could make Binghamton Erie. And then there's a couple of scenes in Niagara Falls, and I went up there and to get that, and you can get that, and 4 hours later you're back in Binghamton.
That's neat.
Yeah. So it seems like things are actually moving along with the movie. So
Yeah, so we should hear who plays Dutch in the next week or two, and that's the last. That's it. Then they
Yeah.
then it's
I like
official.
Dutch. I like Dutch the best.
yeah, he's my favorite.
Me too.
Yeah. So I'm very curious to see who they've got.
Yeah.
It's not that it matters that in the long run, I just, I'm so excited about the whole thing coming together, but it would be
Yeah.
nice if it was, just to see. So it's exciting.
Yeah, and I have no idea. I mean, they were talking about a female, swapping that and making that a female character, and
No
Whatever
way.
oh yeah, they were talking about they were
Nope.
talking about
Yeah, don't
a
give any
female
names because we
person.
don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, a well-known female character playing that
But-
part.
We don't think that worked out though.
I don't think so. I don't think
No.
so.
Yeah. It's really sad that we can't say anything about anything.
Yeah, and you know what's
All
weird
the
about this
interesting
whole thing?
stuff.
Because what's hard part of too is the fact that it's been going on for years. I mean, we're working on this for 4 or 5 years, and Brian, the head producer, is so conservative that, like, I'll call him and everything, and if he's not 95, he's not one of those guys that say, "Guess who I had lunch with? Guess who might read this?" He's not that guy. When he tells you something, it's done. So it's so hard over the years to go, "Oh, it's bumped. I haven't talked to him. He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything." But he just keeps moving. And then when it's ready, then he spoons it out to me. And that's so frustrating because I wish it was "Guess who I had lunch with?" Because then it would just be, you get to see the path, but they are moving.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, Carrie just one of her poems is going in our first issue of the Blydyn Square Review. That's
Oh,
coming out
very
in
cool.
June.
Oh, good.
And okay, I just announced the for the second issue that's going to come out in the fall. We're doing a special issue that's going to be my life in books. We got a piece for the first issue that somebody wrote, and it was all about these different books that influenced her life and everything. And I just thought it was so interesting. I said, let's do a whole issue around that. And like that piece will kind of be like the intro to it. And then we want very short pieces, like 300 words tops. And it can be anything. It can be a poem or a short story or obviously a very short story, or just like a little anecdote but something about a book or a reading experience or a memory that had some sort of, that's either a good memory or funny or had some sort of impact in your life. So if, and I'd love for all of our current authors to contribute something if you could. So,
Sure.
and yeah, so just, it is on our website. Let me find, if I can find anything.
I thought I saw it. I wasn't sure,
I
you
put
know,
it,
what you wanted there, if you wanted us or.
yeah, yes, definitely. I want you guys for sure. Here, I'll put the Twitter post up because I can't find the other thing. I got too much going on here. I'm gonna put the Twitter post about it in the chat. So, but yeah, so the sooner we can start getting stuff in for that, because I'm finalizing the edits on the other issue now, and so that should be up June. So we're hoping this one will come out in like September, October. So the sooner we can get stuff in, because we wanted to publish in like January, February, but it's only last week that we got enough submissions to me, and that's with part of a serialized novel that's got almost 100 pages in. That's how few submissions we got.
Well, that's not
No.
few submissions that you
No,
got.
that
That's few submissions
the
you
editors
accepted.
that the editors liked and accepted.
Right.
Yeah, and you
Right.
never know what they're gonna like. That's the thing, but yeah. And then sometimes they'll like something and I don't, or
Right.
I don't know, but yeah, because I only read the ones that they say yes. And then so I don't even see the ones that they say no. So yeah, it's chaos, but we'll get there. It's our first time around. We'll figure it out. So what else is going on?
Nothing.
Trying to think if anything is going on. We just talked to someone, like Christine and I just talked last week because we had book club.
Yeah. And I was thinking about, we were talking about social media. I read this book from, I put it on Facebook and Twitter, called Ideas of Heaven, from Joan Silber. And
think I saw
I
that.
heard her speak right before COVID. It was probably like 2 weeks before we went on lockdown.
Mm.
I heard her speak at a library. I'd never heard of her. And she was saying that she went like 7 years without a publishing contract. She has quite a few books out too. And she teaches at Sarah Lawrence College. And I was so inspired by her. I was like, 7 years. That's a long time if you're in the writing business to not have a contract. And she was talking about, I asked her about social media, if she uses social media, because this time I was thinking about my book too, right? So she's like, no, I don't do that at all. At all.
She said
And she said it, and she is an older woman. I will say that. Not that that
Right.
matters, because sometimes, people in their 70s could be very adept at using technology, but she is not. And so, but I was thinking about it and I'm like, oh, that's not going to work right now, sweetheart. But
No.
I read her book. It took me this long to read her book, one of her books, and I just loved it. It was so powerful. I can't believe it took her that long to get another book contract. She's heavenly, her words. They're just beautiful. But yeah, I was thinking a lot about that. And I don't get how in Twitter, like I'll put a post that's similar to someone else's and someone else will get like 300 likes on it and I'll get 6. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't need like 1 million followers. That's not my goal. But I do like want to connect with people, So
You want to try?
yeah, a little tribe, just a little tribe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah. And I just like, I have like 4,000 followers, but I don't actually interact with any of them. And what little I read of their stuff, like, it's just like,
Right.
they're all just like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And they're all so boring.
Buy
And
my
just
book.
like, I don't want to, and like, I'm to the point where I want to just start unfollowing people because it's so boring. I don't want to read I don't want to see the cover of your self-published book that you're giving away free again this week. It's so boring. How many times do I have to see it?
Right.
Yeah.
I want something new and interesting. If you're not going to tell me something interesting, then just don't say anything. Like, that's my book.
You know when it does get interesting is when you see someone post something and they go, my children's book is on the New York Times #1 list, and and you're going, no, and so you start researching it, and you go, well, you have 4 reviews, so
Yeah.
I doubt very much. And then you go, oh, you're 20, you're 12 million ranking. I doubt that stuff makes me crazy. As soon as I hear that, I've got to look, and I've got
Yeah,
to.
Everett is like the master. He's always like looking up everybody, and he'll be sending it to me. Liars, liars.
Well, when you
That's
make a
funny.
statement like that, I'm going to look it up. I'm gonna within
Right.
seconds. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah,
You
I
know,
love
because
when
if
people-
if you're a bestseller, you're gonna have more than 6, and they're all gonna be 5. They're going to be like 2 sentences. Really good book, 5 stars.
Right, good
Thanks,
characters.
Mom.
Right.
Right, exactly.
I couldn't even get my mom to do reviews for my
Oh,
books.
yeah, no, my family.
Well,
neither.
actually, someone posted on Twitter that Amazon took off 2 of her reviews because they were from someone she knew.
From the same IP address.
Maybe.
yeah.
Oh, the same.
Really?
Their algorithm has a couple of, a whole load of things that are completely magic as far as I can tell. But there are some things that are predictable. And one is if multiple reviews come in for the same, so it's many to one and a one to many. So for a particular book, product, whatever, if multiple reviews come in from the same IP address, they assume those people know each other, and they assume that therefore it's a repetition of the review. Whether it's a husband and wife who have 2 completely different views, or a mother and kid, or 2 roommates who have different views, is irrelevant. I
Right.
don't know how they distinguish an IP address, which is a house, from an IP address, which is a library,
Yeah.
but there
Right.
you go. And then they will
Yeah.
block both reviews.
That's interesting. They block both, right? Because that's what she
They
was
block
saying.
both. They
Yeah, 'cause
block, they
I
don't
wrote-
say first come, first serve. They block both of them with equality.
That's what I do
They
with my
also
students.
block if you're friends on Facebook.
Yeah, that's funny. If my students cheat, I give them both zeros. So whoever gave
Me
up
too.
their homework, there you go. But no, I'm thinking about Andrea Cott's book, Salt on a Robin's Tail. I reviewed that on Amazon, and I read a few other reviews right before I reviewed it. And this woman said, oh, she knew her. I knew Andrea when I was a girl. So I was like, oh, well, wouldn't they disqualify that review if they think if she knows her? I guess maybe it's the idea of the doubling piece. Same IP
I am
address.
not precisely sure whether they can block based on content that isn't offensive.
They don't really care. All this comes down. They're trying to get rid of bots, so
Yes.
companies will hire groups to go in and post a bunch of fake reviews to push a product to because reviews
Right.
affect listing results more than anything else, even more than sales. If people are looking at something more than they're buying it, it'll still be a top result.
Wow.
So if a bunch of reviews are going up, which is what drives the engine, they want to make sure that it's just not a company utilizing a bot.
Mhm.
So it's not so much about whether people know each other or not. That's how we look at it because we're taking it very personal, and they're looking at it as we're selling widgets.
Is it a click farm in India with or
Chicago.
with or Chicago with the same IP address?
It's not just IP address. It's actually a little bit worse than that. They can actually. Have you ever included something in an email or on Facebook just in passing or Twitter just in passing saying like I watched an old Audrey Hepburn movie last night, and then suddenly you get an email just happens to be suggesting an Audrey Hepburn movie?
Right.
Nothing
Yeah.
to do with your IP address. It's scarier than that.
Yeah.
All those agreements we sign off on to use all these services,
Yep.
just abandon all of our privacy.
It's all
Yeah.
back traced. Yep,
And that
absolutely.
same
Yeah.
technology is being used to quote unquote protect people from fraudulent reviews. However, every review on Amazon, as far as I can tell, is fraudulent in one way or another. So
Right. Are you
What
in like
was it?
the
You're
tech
such a
field?
cynic.
Are you in like the tech
Oh,
field,
God, no.
Lauren?
You don't want me in the tech field, no.
I do not want you in the tech field. You sound like you have authority. You speak with authority.
So I mean, I've had books listed on Amazon from 3 different publishers, and I've had to go through the rigmarole, and you have to learn what you have to learn if you want to seriously understand it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just very practically like me reaching out to a publisher saying, "Hey, why the fuck did that happen?" And I get an answer.
Mm.
And now that answer could still be wrong, but I tend to believe them when they speak about it in just purely like cut dry business terms. Because why would they lie then, right? But yeah, no, I mean, unfortunately, the Amazon game, if you're relying on Amazon to suggest your product, you're lost.
Yeah, I'm sure that
Just
makes
how it
sense.
is.
Yeah.
Wasn't there something when the John Travolta Gotti film came out that they found a way to manipulate Rotten Tomatoes, and it actually had more positive reviews than Avatar in like the first week?
Well, to be fair, it probably is a better film than Amazon.
I've never seen
But yeah,
either. I
yeah.
won't comment.
Listen, if people create it, that means people can find a way to abuse it.
Right.
So, I mean, really, I think unfortunately for all of us, 2 things are at play. You just have to have your best work out there so that you have the best chance, and you have to get someone in your corner at some point who can help you. And that's what it comes down to. But the only side you can control is the first side. So just write every day, make the writing as good, hold yourself to a high standard, surround yourself with the right kind of voices, and get the woo out of your head, you know? Stop trying to be special and instead write good stuff.
Right. However long it takes.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so we had that workshop coming up on May 1st about like things people are doing wrong in their submissions. And like I won't tell you any of the stuff that's in it yet because, but one of the things is just a quick thing is like that people tend to lie to us. And today, case in point, I get this email from someone who's submitting, and instead of actually, like, here's the thing, I have our website open on the how to submit page because I was doing something with the website. And I get this email saying, yeah, hi, your submissions guidelines page was down, so I decided to just take a shot and send you this very detailed cover letter, which if you've read our submission guidelines, I can't stand. And it's like, I'm like, first of all, don't lie to me. I'm sitting on the page right now, so I know it's functioning perfectly well. And it's just like the liars. And then it's like, I can send you the whole thing because I'm sure you're going to want it. And I'm just like, you've made me want to never hear from you again. It's just, it's not hard to just be a normal person and not an insane idiot. That's my advice.
My favorite lying story of yours is the fake agent.
Oh, that one's in the workshop. So if anybody's planning on coming to the workshop, we won't give that away.
On Saturday at the Webbridge, at the Woodbridge Edison group, we were speculating on what the top 10 would be, and we figured number 1 had to be bad advice would be don't send crap.
Yeah, well, we're doing it more like obviously the writings. In fact, we're not even going to cover too much of the actual writing because that's very subjective. You know what I mean? Like something I hate, somebody else might. In fact, for a lot of the submissions we got for the literary magazine that we hated, we're getting notes now saying, please withdraw because I've been accepted by this other magazine. So if they liked it, they have terrible taste, but to each his own. So but I can't really tell you too much about, obviously don't send crap, yes, but I mean, so I cover a little bit of that, but it's mostly more things like very odd things we see in submissions, and they happen all the time. So clearly people just don't get these things, but I don't want to go too much into it because that's the whole, and it's going to be mostly question and answer too. We're going to do like a little bit of a presentation at the beginning.
This is just a teaser for that meeting then.
Well, and even there though, I'm going to kind of do like a quick rundown of some of the things we see and then open it up for questions because I think people are really just want to ask, what everybody seems to have a lot of questions. So I figured that's a better place to give our energy, but I'm working on that this weekend. So to finish up the list of things to cover. So, because you know how much I love doing public speaking, right, Everett? Yeah. not for me.
You're doing better at it.
Well, it helped. Unfortunately, this thing is going to be at 3 p.m. on a Saturday, so there will be no wine, and that's
No.
making what.
Put it in a coffee cup.
Why not? Yeah, put it in a coffee cup.
That's a
Yeah,
good point.
Saturday afternoon, you do what you want. You
That's
you are the
lovely.
publisher. You can do whatever the frick you want.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We'll see if anybody even shows up, but I was going to come to, I was going to try to, I have it written down to come to the Wedison group that day, just to say hi. It's been too long.
I missed it like 3 weeks in a row. It's just like Saturday morning, things get going. So my husband has taken to like finding me to tell me to get on Saturday.
Oh. It was easier for me when we used to do it at 2:00. And when we moved it to 11, it just, that's my lunchtime. That's smack dab in the middle of my productive time,
Mm.
So it's hard, but it's still a good group. But yeah, and Lori comes to our book club sometimes too. So we're gonna see how that goes next month. We're reading The Age of Innocence, Edith Wharton next month. We're going old school.
Mm.
Well, because we did Old Man in the Sea last month, and everybody else loved it, and I hated every word.
Lori told us that, and I actually use Old Man in the Sea. It's like the one Hemingway story that I really, really like, and I use it as a kind of a masterwork in my classes.
And I reread that. I'm sorry I couldn't make
like
it.
And
Yeah.
I said, I've never met you, but it's pretty
Yeah.
clear I will never need to submit to Blydyn Square Books. It just ain't gonna happen.
I just didn't like it. Oh, I mean, first of all, Hemingway, I don't want to go back over our entire book club.
Yeah, no,
discussion,
let's not do that.
but learn that commas exist.
So wait, Elisa, what do you teach? You teach English, I'm assuming. To what?
Oh,
what-
no, I teach here and there. In reality, I used to teach it at Rutgers and at Raritan Valley, but I taught math. And
Oh my
and
gosh,
computer
wow.
science, math and computer science. But I have been doing seminars lately. The New Jersey Authors Network has pulled me a couple of times to give a talk on, and a few other places, the Writers Circle in Summit and Women Who Write in Morristown. I've done I have a class on plot structure, dynamic plotting, and another one on theme plus character plus plot. The triangulation of theme, character, and plot.
So there in Morristown, there's a group called Women Who Write.
There is a group called Women Who Write, and it's based out of Morristown. To be honest, I'm not sure how viable it is right now, but it
Oh.
used to be very, very big. It used to have like 200 members.
Wow.
I just heard from somebody recently that it's gotten very small and got really hit by COVID. Because what they really were doing was sponsoring and supporting and starting new writers in chapters kind of all around central Jersey. So the lack of in-person meeting has been hard on them.
Because I have a hard time getting people to like good editors for my work. And I know, like, I read acknowledgments a lot when I read the books, and so many of these people thank all these people for reading their work. And I'm like, you are so damn lucky, because I put my book out there into the world and Tara happened to like it, but no one read it but me. That was it.
Right. Yep.
So, and I have this friend I met at a very expensive writing conference that I took. And she's really good. She's very helpful to me, but I always feel bad asking. I'm like, oh, if you read this, do you have anything for me? You know, that kind of thing. So
Well, these Women Who Write it does have critiquing groups, and I would have to say, I was a member there for, ages ago, but just like any group, some groups are great, some groups are terrible. And
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got a completely mixed bag.
yeah. Oh, I'm sure. It's far from me too. Morristown's pretty far.
We have somebody coming in.
Where are you?
I'm in Bridgewater, so I'm not too far from Edison.
Do you write novels or short stories or what?
Both.
Okay.
Oh, someone else is here.
Yay!
Hi, Norma. And then the other one is PM. I don't know. There's no other name on there. hello, if you're there, hello. That's like my class. That's like my classes every day. I just see the icon. That's it. I don't
They
know.
don't, they don't have to be on, they're not required to be on screen.
We're supposed to require them to do it, but no one demands it.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
not going to make a thing of it. I'm not going to argue with a kid. Oh, hi, PM. Thanks for
How
Yeah, I'm not gonna make
Yeah.
the thing of it for the
do you
kids.
know if they're really there? How do you know they didn't wander off and
I
go
don't.
take a
I
bath?
don't. I don't.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny? Sometimes I'll let them do their work. I'm like, okay, bye guys. Setting you up for this. This is what's due tomorrow. Let you go work. And there's always like 2 or 3 kids just sitting there because you know that they're in the meat. but
Oh
they're
my
out
gosh, that's
eating.
hysterical.
They're out there eating, and I'm like, I'll be like, Everett. Oh, and I start singing. Oh, Everett, are you
Right.
there? Yeah, and then Everett doesn't show up, and so you know what? Then I do. I mark Everett absent. I email the house office. I'm like, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well, you're-
it's good
you're
times.
tough.
It is good times, man. I have so much fun teaching these high schoolers. You don't even know.
There was an adorable story, 6 months ago about some kid, some third grader out wherever, who figured out how to put like his background to be completely gray and put his name as reconnecting, please wait.
I like that.
I love it.
I should have put my background as something else. Remember, though we couldn't get everybody else to figure out how to do
Yeah,
the
I couldn't
background.
figure it out.
Mine works fine. I think I can do mine. Oh no, I forgot. I have a new computer, and apparently, look at see, Lauren's
Oh,
got
see, you
the
did the-
he's
got
in
the space
space.
thing.
Yeah, mine doesn't remember any of my backgrounds.
Associate Joel Greenberg was cryptic at the time, but it makes a lot more sense now in light of new reporting in the New York Times.
Where's that coming from? Oh, that's pretty.
Federal investigators since last
I
year.
like
Can't
that.
change mine.
No,
I think I've got.
I can, but I don't have anything that's interesting, so it's really boring.
Oh,
I
look
don't
at
know.
that.
Oh, yeah, I can
Neat.
have the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, I have to download it. Yeah.
Now unavoidable though for the House GOP, especially since Gates sits on the House.
Well, that's not too slow.
You go.
Did it go?
Golden Gate.
Oh, there you go. Okay. No, but it makes your head look wonky. Like it looks like,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not a fan.
It's like color forms.
Yeah, we did a push to publish this past year, Christine,
Yeah.
it was all virtual. So they sent all the panelists and editors and agents this background that they wanted you to use. And I used it. And Christine used it, I can't remember her last name, one of the organizers, and not a single other person used it. And I'm like, really, people? And we even had like a meeting the night before with all the panelists and agents and editors teaching us how to do the virtual background. And yet I did it and the organizer did, and it was like, that was it. It was just really, it's really not that hard. I
Right?
like people are just like really like, I guess because we're cooped up for all this time and like I guess we're just feeling rebellious, you gotta strike out where you can, and damn it, I'm not going to use that virtual background, even though there's no way for people to tell who I am. It was so weird because like we did this panel and there was like 100 people on the screen, and 6 of us were panelists, and you had no idea who the panelists were because nobody was using their background. So you would have been really confused if you had it on gallery view and you were trying to figure out who was talking. Yeah, I really hope they're in person this year because that was really disastrous. Because I love going there, but it was
Where
really crazy.
was it?
It's Push to Publish. It's in Philadelphia. Normally they do it at Rosemont College,
Okay.
and it's in, well, I've been there, I don't know, 5 or 6 times I think now, and it's such a great event. It's like they have all these, I've always been there as an editor, so like we do the speed, and I had a speed date with Christine, and that's how we met, and I loved her book, and that's the rest is history. But you know, I go and they do these speed dates and they do panels and they have like a keynote. It's a really nice event. It's just this year because of COVID, it was all online. And like they did a good job pulling it together, but it was still just like we had trouble like with the breakout rooms and getting everybody organized. It's there's, you know, when there's that many people and you're trying to organize it, it was just, you know, a little crazy.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, and I love that college. It's so pretty, that library.
Oh, yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's, oh my God, just that campus is so pretty. And you know, that's for me, that's part of the appeal, is like getting away from home for the day. And it's like these gorgeous buildings and
Right.
free lunch. And it's just nice, you know? Yeah. So I'm hoping maybe they'll do it this year. We'll see. So what else is going on?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I like the cemetery background. That's pretty.
That
cool.
is appropriate.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that is really appropriate. It's very nice.
Atmospheric.
My writing career underground.
Yeah, right? It's like a crypt.
I thought,
Yeah, how do you change it?
like, the-
You click
Um,
on the little
Okay, so
arrow next to
I
stop
actually have a
video.
little spread. I have a little crib sheet because I'm on so many different calls between work, writing, my critiquing group,
Going to a
things that I join, seminars that I give. I have a crib sheet for all the different apps where the things are.
Oh my gosh,
So-
you're in the grass. How do
I
you do it?
know.
Okay, so wait, how, because it
Click.
says mute my audio, stop video.
If you
pin-
go down
Yeah.
by mute, there's a mute and there's a camera.
Yeah,
You
the
see a little
stop
up arrow,
video.
little carrot next to the camera.
Yeah.
Click on the carrot,
Oh, yeah, there it is. Choose virtual background.
choose virtual background.
Yeah.
And now it is going to go onto your PC and look at your preset picture and media folders. But you can also look at the cloud. You can go tell it to go search for you. You can do all sorts of things.
Wow.
Yeah, you can pick anything, but I don't think I have anything that, oh, my pictures don't
And
show.
where
up as-
do I do it? Like click on video and then,
When you say click choose virtual background, you should
Sure.
get a palette of choices.
Dolly, thank you so much for being part of this.
Oh, here, Everett, you'll like this one.
Katie Benner is taking.
Oh, it's too high up. You
Nick,
know who
you
that
can't
is
see
though,
him.
right?
oh,
That's a great
background.
picture.
Yeah.
No,
choose
it doesn't
virtual
have that. It only has virtual backgrounds and video filter. Oh, it's video filters maybe?
No, on your virtual backgrounds, don't you see a whole bunch of little thumbnails?
No, I just see it says none and blur. Here, let me
Oh,
do the-
you don't have any pictures on your laptop then.
Oh, those are all from your own pictures on your laptop?
It doesn't have to be, but you.
Mine were these cheesy ones were pre-done. Oh, here I can do Roscoe. That's the little doggy.
I have
All
a
right.
green screen.
Yeah, it's under, you can,
Yeah.
you see the little, if you're on virtual backgrounds, there's a little plus sign at the top right. If you click on that, you can go into your pictures and pull anything you like.
Add image.
Yeah, so then you go
Yeah,
into,
you don't have any, it's not finding any pictures. If you go to video filters, you'll have a bunch of cheesy pre-done ones.
yeah,
Oh,
But
yeah,
those
I
are
don't have
filters.
any.
Actually,
I know-
those are filters.
yeah.
What's
No, you have to
going
go into your own,
You have
yeah,
to download a couple of choices, yeah.
yeah.
I
Put 'em
got
in
it.
a
I
pictures
see.
or a
Yeah.
background pictures folder.
Oh, see, we're useful. Every week we provide useful information.
Yeah, it won't let me. I was trying to do that picture of you and I having at that sandwich at the Old World Deli. But it won't
Oh,
let me, it won't let me do it.
really? I don't think
No.
I don't think I have that. I mean, I have it probably on my Facebook, but I don't think I have it in
Yeah,
my pictures. Yeah, that was a good picture. With
yeah,
the,
that was a great sandwich.
yeah, oh my God. And I was so hungry
More
too.
important.
Well, he had a sandwich named after him for we were visiting Binghamton for a documentary that Everett was making with his son. And he interviewed all these artists and, you know, writers and whatnot. And we also had this the deli, was it Old World Deli? Is that what
Old
they're
World Deli.
They
Yeah.
named the sandwich after him. And so we went there and we, got our picture taken with the sandwich, and we had parties. It was such a great weekend. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
The sandwich was big.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it's like 3 deckers. It's huge.
It was
The
crazy.
Mount Everett.
That's what it was called, the Mount
Yeah,
Everett.
corned beef,
Wow.
pastrami, sauerkraut, Russian dressing, and hot sauce.
Ooh,
Oh.
kind of like a jumping Reuben.
It's so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
if a
good.
Reuben and jambalaya had a baby, it would be that sandwich.
It was good.
A Cajun Reuben.
That's right.
Yeah, that was good. And the party was good. That was a great weekend. We should do
It
that.
was funny because I was so excited when we came back from that. My son was making fun of me and he was going, "Oh yeah. I won the London Book Festival award. They named a sandwich after me." Yeah, they're gonna make a movie out of my novel. Did you see the sandwich?
Yeah, you were way too excited about it, I think.
Oh, that was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I've never
yeah.
been on a menu before.
I'm on a burger at the Belmar too. There's an Everett burger there.
Really?
That says something a lot about me. Yeah.
How was the Belmar? I saw one
Oh,
picture, I think,
incredible.
of it. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Belmar's this bar up in Binghamton that's a setting in his his novel. And it's just like this little tiny place, and it's like they have the best food. It's
Best food
amazing.
ever.
Yeah.
Just the combinations of things that are just incredible.
Crazy good food. So yeah.
Champion of voting rights for Black, Brown, and
Nobody has anything?
she was nominated.
Because we can always cut short. We don't have to go full hour. I do have work to do, as always.
I'm reading a really good book.
Are you? What are you reading?
It's a book by an author, Elizabeth Yoan Nelson, and it's nonfiction. She's speaking about the myth of Eros and Psyche. It's called Psyche's Knife, and she tells the story, retells the story, and goes into the story, different aspects of the story from a psychological point of view, and she's deciphering meaning from it. And I'm only halfway through it, but it's a very good book. Psyche's Knife. How we often forget that Psyche was gonna kill Eros.
Yeah. I have to look that up.
Yeah, apparently a knife is anything that is longer than 7 inches and shorter than 22. And it's got
And what's short? What if it's shorter?
blade. I'm sorry?
What if it's shorter than 7 inches?
It's probably something like a dagger.
A dagger.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's big. It's big.
Yeah.
Bladed on 2 sides. She was gonna, and her sisters told her, being jealous of her situation, right? Not knowing the full extent of everything, told her how to sharpen the knife and where to sever the spine. So this is, it's
Holy cow.
very
That's
interesting.
kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a really good book, and
Not like my sister, but it's kind of creepy.
it brings a lot of insight into the idea, like how knives are used. You can separate things, you can bring things together. It was a very common tool for millennia. And then we forget that Psyche had its knife, even in portraits and things like that. It's kind of like this little thing that's sort of hidden in the folds of her skirt.
What is this book called?
Psyche's Knife.
I have it on Amazon. I have it pulled up on Amazon. I'm gonna pop it in the chat.
It's been fascinating. I'm really, really enjoying it.
That
Anything with
sounds
myth,
right up
though,
my
taking
alley.
myth and applying it, like looking through it to myth through different lenses is
Yeah.
Hmm.
pretty cool.
Interesting.
That's all I got.
What have you been reading lately, Everett? Anything?
Yeah, I've got a couple of things I'm reading. I just finished. I thought this was going to be kind of dry, but I got this for Christmas, and it's about Chernobyl. Absolutely fascinating. And then I'm reading, I saw the movie, but I never read Seabiscuit. So I'm reading
I
Seabiscuit
never
now.
read it either. Huh. I didn't see the movie either, so.
Yeah, but I loved Unbreakable. The book, she's the same author that wrote Unbreakable. And that was one of my favorite. That was just phenomenal. So I saw the movie, but I'm reading, and I'm trying to get through the Kite Runner, but I'm just not having a good luck at it. I keep putting it down.
Yeah, kind of me too. It,
hate
it
it.
kind of
It's
went
one of
on
those things that you want to say
and then
you
at the
read.
end, I kind of went, yeah.
I said I
Yeah.
read it, and then I found out that they really think I'm a moron. I mean, that's how I felt. I felt when I got to the end, I was like, oh, you think I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. I felt like I felt that, yes, I felt that he thought he was a lot
You
smarter
can
than
see
me.
how far I've gotten because I just I read
Oh.
like a page and then I just go,
I hate it. But
I'm not enjoying it.
one of these days, I'm gonna like a book, and you're all gonna be blown away. The world is
Yeah.
gonna come to an end.
And you know what? We're gonna all think it's the stupidest thing in the world, and you're going to love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was a book that I liked and you guys didn't like. I don't remember. I don't know. I like a lot of books. But not lately.
I finished another one like a month ago. It was by
I tell you what, you know what's even harder is I used to when the libraries were open, I would get 3 books on tape, and then I would out of those 3, I'd listen to at least one CD and I'd find one. Now that's just completely gone. So now when I do Audible, I return like 7 or 8 in a row. That is just that's sad. That it used to be books on tape. I had a 1 in 3 shot. Now it's like 7 in 10.
Carrie, what were you saying?
I read another one. I finished one last month by this author from England, and like it was written in 1947 by his name is Mervyn Peake, and the book is called Titus Grown. It was
Yes.
out there.
Yes.
It was
Yes, it
really
is.
amazing. I like caricatures in a sense, but
If you'd given me the title, I could not have given you the author, and if you'd given me the author, I could not have given you any of his titles, but yes.
yeah, it was really
I
good.
remember reading that.
Yeah, big, long book, no, but this fantastical place, this huge, huge castle. Everything takes place, well, not everything, most of the plot takes place in this enormous, crumbling, falling apart castle of like several, I don't know,
It's
70
like
generations.
he's like a really relatable Thomas Pynchon.
And he writes that they said he was a painter. Mervyn Peake was a painter also. He writes in a way that you can see that he's almost painting the scenes. It was really good. Very interesting. Really out there.
Have you read Haruki Murakami? If you like Mervyn Peake,
I
love Haruki Murakami. I'm currently just finishing up his book of short stories. But
yeah. It's been a while. I don't know if I actually read.
Kafka on the Shore is my favorite, but a lot of people like Wind Up Bird Chronicle, Norwegian Wood, 1Q84 is weird.
There was one that oh God, it was recommended to me, and it was supposed to be sort of like an Alice in Wonderland. I can't remember the name of it. I've got it written down. Well, that's the way it was described to me by my chiropractor 8 years ago.
Oh,
By Murakami?
Well, there's a lot of ifs in there. It's a fuzzy memory.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were getting cracked at the time, so.
Right.
oh.
But I will. I'll look in. I've got his other books, Peake's books, sitting on my bookshelf. I've heard the other 2 are not quite as good, but I'm looking forward to those 2.
Yeah.
I found that in March I buy a shit ton of books. I don't know what it is. It happened last year, and I think because we've been in COVID times for a year and a month, that I've noticed this pattern that it gets to be March and I buy dozens of books, and they just they're very comforting. They sit on my shelf and,
Yeah,
you know,
I have
there are
that.
some
I
that
do
I
that in
really
March
know,
too.
but
But yeah,
save
Well,
them.
but March, I have my birthday in March, so people tend to give me like book gift cards and stuff. So I tend to
That's
use them, and then yeah, I have like a big stack up there now.
That's
But-
interesting because my birthday's in December and maybe I'm buying myself all the things I wish I had gotten for my birthday.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. Yeah, I usually do a hit in December, right after Christmas, because people know me well enough to know I like books, but not well enough to know what I will like, because I think everybody, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then again in March, and then I'm pretty good for the most of the year, because I'm a slow reader.
Me too.
Well, I mean, I read so much for work
Thorough.
that, what little time I have to read.
But I have like different things that I'm reading at different times. Like I've got my
Yeah.
upstairs
Oh,
book,
yeah.
and I've got my travel
Yep.
book,
Yep.
and I've got my, while I'm having breakfast book.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I have a lot of different books going. Although I just finished 2 books yesterday, so now I have only 1 book going, I think. And that's very disturbing.
oh,
That's not normal.
has anyone read the Bird Way?
No,
It's again another nonfiction. It's by oh crap, Jennifer something. I can't remember her name now, but it's really it's incredible. Just about birds, how they
I like birds.
play, nest.
Jennifer Ackerman.
That's it. That's the one. Yeah. Really very interesting how a lot of her research, a lot of the research she's gathered on bird behavior is showing that the stuff that we know is because we're so northern hemisphere based that we're casting these broad generalizations about how all birds should behave because of birds that migrate through
Mm.
United States and England. But Australia is showing things are completely different.
Hmm.
It was really good.
Hmm.
Again, fascinating.
I like birds. I used to do bird watching when I was like married back in the olden days.
Yeah.
And and we used to put out the feeders and stuff to get the birds.
Yep.
And the grackles would take the sparrows and pin them down and peck their brains out.
Oh,
I have
charming.
never seen that in my life.
It was horrifying, and you would hear the screaming, and you'd be like, "I'm out there," try to scare them off. But even so, and of course, I'd be at work 10 hours a day, so I would come home and you'd be like walking from the driveway to the house or mowing the lawn, and there'd be just dead sparrows everywhere. It was horrifying.
Really?
This is astounding.
It was just, it got to a point where I finally said, I can't do it anymore. I'm basically luring these poor sparrows into their death. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
like
'Cause
Suzanne Plachette.
it was horrible. I gave up. So I stopped feeding the birds. And
Well,
here, if we feed the birds here, our neighbor has rats. So every time I would put bird feed out here, the neighbor's rats would come over. And I'm like, no, okay, no birds for me.
Your neighbor has rats?
My neighbor's a
Deliberately?
hoarder. They're a hoarder. So the rats stay there as long as there's nothing attracting them over here. But as soon as I put out bird seed, it was like, it was like, okay, no, thank you, because it's only a matter of time before they're hanging out in our garage, So our neighbor's a hoarder. It's lovely.
If I was a rat, I'd live in a hoarder house. Be a great place to live.
It's delightful.
Sure.
yeah.
You should see their backyard. It's crazy town. Oh, it's not good. Yeah.
Every now and then I remind myself I don't have the worst neighbors in the world. They're just really solidly mediocre.
Our neighbors.
All
will-
right, guys, I'm gonna go. I'll see you
All right.
later.
Bye. Have a good rest.
Bye-bye. Okay, I will.
Yeah,
Thanks, you
we've
too.
integrated, haven't we? We're not talking about writing anymore.
We've taken a turn. Now we're talking about rats.
Right. And bad
Yeah.
neighbors.
It's going to be cicadas next.
Oh yeah, I keep hearing about this on the news, but
Oh yeah, it's a cicada year.
yeah, apparently I haven't seen any yet, and that's okay because
Yeah.
They're not
They're
pleasant.
coming. They're coming.
Yay. All right, let's we made it a full hour, and we talked mostly about books, so I'm proud of us.
And rats.
It was a pleasure meeting all of
It
you.
was nice to meet you. We do it every month, so if you're ever bored, feel free to jump on.
Great, thank you. Yeah, you sit, especially COVID, you write on your own. Hand it out to your critique group who tells you that, oh, you know what, just kill off Gordon because it ain't working. And networking is so crucial.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right,
All right,
take care,
guys.
everybody. It was a pleasure.
Thank you guys so much. I'll see you next month, hopefully.
Bye-bye now.